I'm back. Um, Take two, I guess. I do want to get this done. Take one had some bits that can't be duplicated, but I try to do all this in one take. So, yeah, that's some of it can't be duplicated. The other video is deleted. Might be able to pull it out of the trash, but we're just going to make another one. Okay, so this is not going to be about emergency phalaenopsis. I mean, it's not even an emergency anymore. It's going to be about everybody, because everybody has came out of their pots. Everybody's roots were rotting, so it could have been that I didn't repot in time. Could have been they didn't like the bark. But as what I've noticed with mine and even other people's, with phalaenopsis at least, roots that are down in the bark always, I won't say look bad, but they never look as good as roots that aren't buried in something. So they're going to be mounted bare root something. I've pretty much decided, because in that bark, everybody was working on becoming a 911 foul. So I'm not going to do it anymore. This is working nicely. So we got this one. It's got its little nubbins. So that one's pretty clear now. It's got its roots. It's not seeing water tonight. That's how well it's recovered. Tonight it's not seeing any water. It's doing good. Its leaves aren't brilliant, but it can hold it out there all by itself like that now. It couldn't do that in the first video. Even this one. Okay, yeah, it's still floppy, but not like it was. Nowhere near the way it was. So it's pretty much a recovered plant. And then up here, we've got spiderfowl. You know, spiderfowl, doing whatever a spiderfowl does. Bragging points if you figure out where that came from. Shouldn't be too difficult. Down here, we've got the one that has been affectionately nicknamed Leslie. This is the one that does everything at once. It's been in bloom while growing a leaf, while extending its roots. It does everything at once. It too had, I'll call them bark rotten roots. And then, remember I was saying how these things are kind of like shady vandas? Vandaceous type plants, if nothing else. Well, this is what gave me that idea that, if allowed, phalaenopsis will eventually vine. There it is. Oh, I'm sorry, that's only about half of it. Yeah. All the way back to my thumb. And maybe a little further is living tissue. Ah, that looks like a vine to me. That's, I would say, a good 6 inches. Maybe a little more. That's what I was looking at when I started thinking, that looks like a Vanda. Okay, the leaves are all wrong for a Vanda, but the growing method, it looks like a Vanda. It's also getting quite heavy. This is probably, I don't know, at least a 3-pound plant. That's like holding my dog. Yes, I have a small dog, obviously. If holding a little plant, yeah. But if holding that plant is like holding my dog, yeah, I've got a small dog. It's a Chihuahua, like 5-something pounds. But that kind of felt like holding her. Might even be heavier than her. She's a pathetic little thing. I need to feed her or something. Okay, so that's where that came from. If we go back to spider phal, it too has a pretty substantial stem starting. Emergency phal? Not so much. Maybe an inch and a half. Yeah, somewhere in there. That's like a 7-year-old plant. So to get that, I'll risk breaking my arm and pick it up again. Both in the same shot. Yeah, that has clearly got a much more substantial stem, right? I'm not sure how old the big one is, but I would say that it is more than 7. Okay, yeah, that had problems, but it had the same problems the big one did. Or the big one had the same problems it did, with the exception of, a couple of things in its very beginning. Not sure how old or how long I've had this other one. It might be younger than the channel. So there's that. And then the one that's kind of the new emergency phal. I just plopped it down in the fish tank. Gave the whole... Oh, okay. No cussing required. It's just a bit of bamboo. I was letting this whole thing soak because it doesn't have much in the way of roots. See, it just doesn't have much in the way of roots. It's dripping everywhere. Give it a shake it off like a dog. I'm not dressed in women's clothing, but yeah, another movie reference there. Okay, it shook off. It just... there's not much else you can do. So I just soaked the whole thing. And some roots absorbed a little bit. Others don't want to yet. That's that's that. It's just gonna have to go swimming for a few minutes. Who knows how often? Who knows how often? Do another bit of spider plant. That's gonna be its life. If it rots away, well, that'd be a bit of a shame because I believe that's a like a stripy purple, if I remember right. It's been a minute since that one's bloomed. Okay. Last, but I don't know, maybe it is least. In an older video, speaking of older videos, that leaf that's out there all by itself, that's in a very old video for a leaf that is just going to die and fall off. It's a very old video. I think that leaf was doomed for dying and falling off for at least a year. It just won't do it. Okay, so that interesting little factoid about spiderfowl. But anyway, I cut this because I said I wanted it to, I think I said that I wanted it to branch out, and so it hasn't yet. But if it will branch, oh, my arm has had enough of holding the phone. If it will branch, I'm going to let it go to the ceiling and then cut it off, I don't know, 10, 12 inches. Let things go to the ceiling, cut them off back to 10 or 12 inches of wherever they start, and keep doing that. Well, in take one, which is lost to the, I don't know, ether, I cut this one too. This one, kind of in a response to a comment that I had, this one is only going to be allowed to grow up to the cut of the other one. It's not going to be allowed to get any taller than that. It's just going to get a flat crew cut haircut. Every time it gets, an inch or two past that cut, its head is going to come off. So, 2 different ways of making Lucky Bamboo branch. I put that other arm up there. I was not ready. Not complaining. It's just tired. I need to remember to use my right arm. So yeah. 2 different ways of doing that. The first one I was doing anyway. Second one is in response to a comment. Yeah. So all I gotta do is look at the comments on a older video. It's not hidden. I get like 1 comment per video. It's fine. If anybody gets anything out of it, well, then the video's job is done. If 100 people get something out of it, well, then the video was basically successful. Okay, so it's a record of everything I've done, in large part for me, but it's public. If others can get something out of it, great. If, 100 people get something out of a video, great. If 1 person gets something out of a video, great. So, that is that. I think I've covered everything, and I will talk to you next time. I very well won't see you, You won't even see me, you'll just listen to me. Okay, like I say, talk to you next time.